Hello and welcome back to Chiefsman's Corner. Like last week, this is not a live broadcast as I am adjusting temporarily to the wife not working nights for the next couple of weeks. However, this will be up at the normal 9 p.m. Eastern time slot, and I will be online and available to answer and respond to any comments from those watching the premiere. I am your host, Coach Winuvas of the Detroit Lions, one of the leadership team here in the WFL. The show format doesn't change much from normal. We'll discuss Week 5 games as well as players of the podcast from those Week 5 games. And normally, though, we do end with our Ask the Chief segment. But in a departure, due to some questions not being submitted, I don't have any questions as of the time of recording. I'm going to get a little soapboxy in that segment. I normally try to stay away from this type of stuff because I try not to make it about issues in the league, but I feel like seeing some stuff going on over the past couple of weeks, I kind of got to get a little soapboxy, so I do apologize for that, but it will be a little soapboxy in the Ask the Chief segment. If anyone is tuned in during the premiere, though, welcome aboard. Thanks for listening. You can comment in the YouTube chat, and I will be on to respond to any comments. If you're watching the recording of this, however, we still thank you for watching. Any and all support is appreciated. Without you guys, the WFL doesn't exist, and neither does this show. The first thing I'm going to talk about tonight, as always, is the WFL's incentive plan. Talk about it first time, every time, because this plan allows you to get some perks that aren't available for every member simply by doing some extracurricular activities that involve WFL. Anything from Twitter to articles on the Neon Sports site to commenting or participating in the show, even chatting in Discord now can earn you points. Anything that makes the WFL a more immersive experience and increases its presence in the Madden community earns you some sort of credit. Link to the incentive plan, is available using the command /incentive plan. That's all one word, /incentive plan in Discord. Next thing to talk about is our form Ask the Chief. Use this form during the week between episodes to submit any questions you have for me, and I'll answer them during the show, giving you credit for the question. Easy way to build up incentive points and provide extra content for the podcast. Use the command /AskTheChief to pull up the form in Discord. That is, again, all one word, /AskTheChief in Discord. We are still efforting to get some quality owners for our current openings. If you know of any owners that would be a good fit, please send them an invite to the Discord chat so we can get them full. With housekeeping out of the way, let's recap the scores from Week 5 action and highlight our offensive and defensive players of the podcast from Week 5. All right, so here we have Week 5 action. As I zoomed in, a little bit there to get Week 5 action a little bit bigger on the screen. It was quite small. Starting out, Baltimore Ravens moved to 2-3 on the season, beating the Tennessee Titans, who are winless right now at 0-5. 19-18 is your final there. The San Francisco 49ers pull out a 3-point victory over the Los Angeles Rams. San Francisco moves to 2-3 on the season, while Los Angeles falls to 2-3 on the season. 35-13 is your final between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers in a clash of division leaders at this point. Cincinnati moves to 4-1 on the season, while Pittsburgh falls to 3-2 with the loss. Game of the week action here, at least according to Neon Sports. Miami going to New York to face off against the previously undefeated Jets, and Miami pulls off the upset, quote unquote. 52-38 is your final there. Miami goes to 3-2 on the season, while New York suffers their first loss of the year and falls to 4-1. Week 5 action has the Detroit Lions doing what they do best, losing to the now undefeated at 5-0 Minnesota Vikings. And really, folks, are the Vikings for real? Last podcast, I kind of gave them a little grief about being a surprise, maybe a pretender. They're looking to prove me wrong here with a convincing victory over the Detroit Lions. 37-27 is your final there. Minnesota is still undefeated at 5-0, and Detroit falls to 1-4 on the season. Not to be outdone, however, and keep pace in the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers beat the Chicago Bears. 37-14 is your final there. Green Bay is also undefeated at 5-0, while the Chicago Bears join the Detroit Lions at 1-4. More Week 5 action as we get to the Atlanta Falcons with a little bit of an upset here, maybe. It's tough to really call it an upset over the former WFL Bowl attending team for the AFC, the Indianapolis Colts. 40-34 is your final here. Colts struggling a little bit out of the gate, fall to 2-3, while the Falcons, my prediction to go from worst to first, 3-2, and possibly tying for that division lead in the NFC South. Week 5, we have the Saints and the Buccaneers facing off, and the Buccaneers look to try and right the ship a little bit after a rocky start post Tom Brady. They win against the Saints 34-28. Here is your final there. Tampa Bay moves to 3-2 to tie the Atlanta Falcons at the top of the division, while the Saints fall to 2-3. Dallas and Washington face off in a clash of NFC East foes. Washington pulls out the victory 28-13 in a simulated game. Dallas falls to 2-3. Washington moves to 4-1 on the season. New York also moves to 4-1 with a 24-21 win, a little bit closer victory than you would expect against the Seattle Seahawks. Not sure if this was a played game or if Clyde just let it simulate. However, New York goes to 4-1 and Seattle falls to 1-4. Cleveland going to Jacksonville and putting a whooping on the Jaguars, 49-16 is your final there, and an unusual score. Cleveland moves to 3-2 on the season, while Jacksonville moves to 1-4 on the regular season. Carolina in a three-way tie for that NFC North. Unfortunately, they could have taken sole possession of the lead, but lose to the Houston Texans. 33-28 is your final score there. Carolina falls to 3-2 on the season in a three-way tie, like I mentioned earlier, in the NFC South, while Houston goes to 4-1, taking sole possession, I do believe, of the AFC South lead. Denver falls to 4-1. Wow, that's a surprise. I'm guessing this was a simulated game due to schedules. Denver falls to 4-1, losing 34-21 to the Las Vegas Raiders, who post their first victory of the season, moving to 1-4, while Denver falls to 4-1. Los Angeles Chargers in a squeaker beat the Kansas City Chiefs 19-16 is your final here. A couple of block kicks in this one, and a late questionable call by the Chargers on a fourth down conversion that ultimately doesn't work out for him, but ultimately does work out for him as he ekes out the victory. 19-16 your final there. Los Angeles Chargers move to 3-2. Kansas City falls to 1-4. And in a game that was never in any doubt, apparently, Philadelphia gets their first victory of the season, putting a whooping on the Arizona Cardinals. 37-3 is your final here. Arizona falls to 1-4. Philadelphia moves to 1-4 on the season and look to make their climb back to the top of the division. Buffalo in the final game of the week against the constantly CPU New England Patriots. Buffalo 38-3 winner over those Patriots. New England falls to 2-3. Buffalo moves to 3-2 in the NFC East. And that is your Week 5 action. But first, we do have a couple of announcements to make because we got our players of the podcast. And I usually try to go with folks that normally don't get a big mention. So I've snuck through and dug through the archives a little bit, and I want to give this man a shout out. Our Titans owner makes the offensive player of the podcast. Were there other players that probably had better weeks? Yes. Did his team win? No. But I still want to give a shout out to Titans wide receiver Treylon Burks. 4 catches, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns in a 19-18 loss to the Ravens. Yes, the Titans lost, but it was not Treylon Burks' fault. He did everything he could to get that team a W. Just couldn't eke it out. And on defense, I decided to reward the person that's tied for a, three-way tie for the NFC South lead and give it to Falcon safety Richie Grant. Now, he didn't have much in the way of stats, not going to lie. This is kind of a stretch for me. He didn't have any stats, really. He had 1 interception. But the interception was a pick 6 in a game that was 6 points in the favor of the Falcons. So basically, I'm going to call it, if not for his interception, they don't win. So that makes you a player of the podcast in my eyes, especially whenever you beat the previous representative of the AFC in the Super Bowl or in the WFL Bowl last year in the Indianapolis Colts. So Richie Grant, Falcon safety, gets my pick by getting a pick in a 40-34 win over the Colts. So that ends it for everything I normally do. And normally this is the segment where I pull up Ask the Chiefsman's question, or Ask the Chief questions. Sorry, I cannot get that segment right for whatever reason today. But we didn't have any questions submitted, which kind of works out rather well because I do want to get on my soapbox a little bit. Normally, I don't like using this podcast as a kind of a preachy element to the league. I don't like doing it this way. I feel like I want to interact more with you guys. Sorry, I just spit on my computer monitor, so that's why I'm wiping stuff. I don't like not having the interactive portion of this. I don't like feeling like I'm giving a sermon because that's not what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be having fun about our league, and I don't like doing things like this because this is not fun for me and this is not fun for anybody else. But lately I have seen a lot a lot of rules violations. In games I've watched, in games I've been told to watch. Some games haven't been reported. Some games have been reported. I generally try to keep my eye when I have time, which has been rough lately because if you don't know, I teach at a community college and this is finals week. So I'm really stressed for time, or stretched for time, I should say. But I have caught a couple of games, and in almost every one I've seen rules violations of some kind. And these are ones that are core tenets of WFL. Which makes it all the more disappointing. I'm seeing basic things like the 70-30 rule on defense violated. Folks, if you don't know what that is, go read the rule book. I am tired of guys saying that either they didn't know or they didn't read the rules. Clearly, we're having some issues with some guys caring about the rules. And if you are one of those guys that doesn't care about the rules, we will have more CPU openings soon rather than later. And I'm going to put it that bluntly because it's to that point now where I just watched a game that I reported to the PA where I literally think I logged just about every single type of violation you could possibly have in the rule book. I logged at least one instance of it, and that is clearly someone who did not bother to read the rules or thinks they are above the rules, one or the other. And if you think you're above the rules, you'll be gone. And if you think that the rules are unimportant, you're going to get a lot of suspensions, and you're going to either find out they're important or you're going to quit in frustration and you'll be gone. So either way, you're either going to fix the issue or you're going to be gone, and my issue is going to be resolved either way. Okay? So I'm seeing a lot of issues of excessive violations as far as defense goes. By that way, that means 25% or more of your play calls cannot be in one single coverage. I've seen violations of cover 4. I've seen violations of cover 3. I've seen violations of cover 0. Guys, vary up your defensive play calls. There's cover 0, there's cover 1 man, there's cover 1 blitz, there's cover 2 zone, there's cover 2 blitz, there's cover or man blitz, there's cover 2 zone blitz, there's cover 2 man, there's cover 3 zone, there's cover 3 zone blitz, there's cover 4, there's cover 6, there's cover 9. You can play that slowly if you want to catch all those. There's plenty enough in there in the playbook. And yes, I do know that Madden and EA toned down the defensive playbooks and stripped a lot of things out. And you're having to dig more to find these things. Find them. I am tired of the excuses. Okay? If I can manage to call nearly a 50-50 game on defense and come maybe the most I call of one type of concept is 18 to 20%, then everybody can do it. Am I successful at this game? No. Okay, so what? I still follow the rules. If you can't follow the rules, you won't be here. Period. I don't care if that means we drop down to 16 teams, just as an arbitrary number, and half the league is CPU teams. Everybody here is going to follow the rules, or else they won't be here anymore. Period. And if you don't like that, if you don't like the bluntness of that statement, feel free to talk to me in DMs. But I promise you my message is going to be the same. Rules are meant to be followed. If you do not follow them, there will be consequences. If you don't like the consequences, you can leave the league. Period. End of report. I'm tired of having to talk about these rules. I'm tired of having to mention these rules. They're easily accessible inside of Discord. You can look up our custom commands. There's rules to look up offensive play calling or offensive gameplay, defensive gameplay. There's fourth down rules in there. I've seen fourth down violations lately. Some of them are just ridiculous. I mean, 4th and 3 on your own 31, tie ball game. There's nothing about that that's legal, and somebody went for it on 4th down. That's embarrassing to this league, and it's unacceptable. Okay? Things like that grind my gears. I do not anger quickly. I really don't. I really try to be very low-key because this is a video game. I'm trying to have fun just like everybody else. I would like it to be a relaxing time. I don't want to bust anybody's balls about this kind of stuff. It's ridiculous that we have to do these kind of things. But if we don't, people are going to just cheat to win and don't care. If you want to be here, you're going to care. If you don't care, don't be here. Period. Okay? And I keep using those statements. If you don't care and you don't want to be here, don't be here. That's the truth of it. I'm here because I want to be here. Do I like the game? No. I've said that on multiple podcasts. I hate games. I hate playing games. Okay? The only reason I'm here is for the community. I'm here for you guys. Okay? I'm not here for Madden. Madden could take a flying leap into the lake tomorrow and I would not cry a bit. If Madden died tomorrow, I would not cry a bit except for missing you guys in the community. Period. Okay? That's the truth. And to see guys blatantly break rules that have been in place mostly since day one, if not within the last cycle. Okay, a lot of the rules I'm seeing broken are core tenets of WFL or stuff that we've had in place for at least a couple of seasons since we've gotten back on the train in Madden 22. And when I see guys violate it, all I think is this: they don't care about us. And by us, I mean the community that actually bothers to follow the rules, bothers to do things the right way. They don't care about us. And if they don't care about us, they need to do two things. One of two things. One, they need to start caring about us, which means they start following the rules, they start learning the rules, they start being an advocate for those rules. Or, in the same vein, if you don't like the way the rules are, request that they be changed in a feedback form at the end of season. And if enough folks request a certain type of change, we'll make it. If only one person's complaining about a rule that needs to be changed, guess what's not going to happen? That rule's not going to get changed. If one person is singing about one rule, it's not getting changed. Okay? It's going to take a couple of you guys to make some noise about rules for us to make any significant changes. Okay? So either A, you're going to learn to abide by the rules and advocate the rules and care about this community as a whole, or you're going to leave. And it's that blunt, it's that plain, and I'm tired of giving chances after chances after chances. Okay? A lot of the folks that are in this group do not qualify for this soapbox, by the way. Okay? Most of the people that are in here that I know of, that I've seen play once and twice and three times, don't fall in this soapbox. Most of them try to follow the rules. And by the way, the following the rules does not mean you're going to be 100%. I'm not even 100%. I've violated rules. I mean, hell, I'll tell you right now, I violated the re-sign rule because I honestly forgot to stream when I signed DeAndre Swift to a long-term contract for the Lions. When I swapped over, I jumped on. I got his contract altered to where I could sign him because he had basically told the CPU F off. I got somebody to adjust the contract so I could have a chance to sign him, which we allow any owner to do, by the way. So if you join and somebody has said, the computer basically says, no way, I'm not signing with you, talk to one of leadership. We can fiddle with the contract and make it to where you can sign them again. But anyway, I popped on and I was on my PS5 and literally I got on, and when I saw his contract demands, I was like, he's wanting that little for that good of a player. And I signed him. And as soon as I hit accept, I'm like, oh crap, I did not stream. And I reported it, and guess what? He got suspended for a game because that's a violation. That's a rule violation. Okay? The PA said suspend him for a game. And I did. Sat him for the Broncos game last week. Or 2 weeks ago, I should say. But even I violate rules, and when I do, I self-report. And when I do self-report, I get punished just like anybody else. Okay? Everybody meets the PA at some point in their life, and it's whether it's accidental, intentional, or otherwise, everybody's going to violate at some point. I'm talking about the people that blatantly break rules to win games. If you do that, you are not abiding by the motto of this league, which is it's not about the W or the L, it's about the WFL. And if you don't like that motto, if you like W's more than you like this league, you won't be here long. If you care more about breaking the rules to get you an almighty W so your ego can be inflated that much more, you won't be in WFL long. I will guarantee it. Okay? Because at some point you're going to break a rule that I'm going to get in on, and I'm going to watch you like a hawk. And anytime you violate, I will report you. And I will report anybody that violates. If I see it, I report it. Period. Doesn't matter who it is. If it's me, if it's my leadership team, if it's somebody in the PA, if it's somebody on the Associated Press, if it's an owner that just joined 2 days ago, everybody gets reported. And if you don't like the way the report is and you want to leave, leave. No skin off my back. But if you want to be here and you want to make this a better community and you want this to be truly about the WFL and not about wins and losses, read the rule book. Read the rule book. Read every portion of it. GM rules, offensive gameplay, defensive gameplay, special teams gameplay. When you can go for it on fourth down, when you can do no huddle. All of it's there for a reason. It's all important, folks. It's all important. There's a reason we put it down. It's all important. And if it's not down there and we say it's an issue because we've got that ignorance is no defense, and we got that clause that if we say something's illegal, it's illegal, no matter if it's in the rules or not. So if you want to be here long term, if you want to be a successful member of WFL, read the rules. I'm done playing. I'm done talking. From here on out, if I see it, I report it. Doesn't matter how big it is. Doesn't matter how small it is. If it's there, I report it. We're cleaning this up, and we're going to clean it up now, starting today. This is December 5th. I'm recording this podcast. It's going to go up December 5th. And from here on out, if I see it or hear about it, I'm watching it. And if I watch it and I see it, it's going to the PA. The PA is going to probably get real tired of me reporting every single thing. And just for full transparency, if ever there's a game that I have to log where I'm involved, in other words, I have a grievance against my opponent, I always log my stuff as well. And also, if you report something, I log both teams. Because generally speaking, if you're willing to be a squeaky wheel, you might need some grease of your own, if you understand what I mean by that. So when you make a report, yes, I want you to make a report, but do be aware that just because you're the reporting person does not mean you are not a non-guilty party. I watch everything. Okay? I watch everything. When I get a report, I watch everything, and if there's violations on both teams, there's violations on both teams. We clean it up starting today. And if you don't want to clean it up, you don't want to be part of the process to clean it up, do me a favor. Go ahead and bump yourself out of the franchise. Go ahead and bump yourself out of Discord. And go ahead and move on so we can we know who we have opens for, so that way we can get people in here who want to be here, who want to make this league better. And I hate to be ugly like that. I really, really do. But I'm to the point now where I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the issues. I'm tired of this is December. And just like Matt has been frustrating with the fact that we just got a franchise that's barely working, we finally can actually do a draft in December. I'm also tired of the fact that it's December and we still have people that have been here since October, August, since April of last cycle that still don't get it. Get it. Starting now. And that's it. I'm done with the soapbox. I'm getting off the soapbox now. And I'm sorry that I have to do these things. But I think you need to see, and I'm trying to do this on camera so that way you can see how passionate I am about this. I am tired of it, and I want it to stop. You can either be part of the process to fix it, or you can be part of the problem and get out. That's it. I'm done with it. Okay? And like I said, this soapbox rant is only for a few people. That's the sad part. Most of you are fine. Most of you are fine. Maybe a couple of flaws here and there, but like I said, we all got flaws. We all got issues. We're not 100%. But the guys that are way off are either going to come back to the median or they're going to get out. That's it. With that, I'm sorry. I'm done. It's time to put a positive spin on this. We went over, obviously, the soapbox, but before that, we had our Week 5 action. We had our players of the podcast from Week 5. It was Treylon Burks for the Titans. It was safety Richie Grant for the Atlanta Falcons. We talked about, the incentive plan. We talked about things that make the WFL better. And this last part, the soapbox rant, is something that's going to make WFL better in the long run. So I want to thank you guys for listening to my rant. Thank you guys for listening to the entire podcast. Thank you for tuning in, whether it was during the premiere or after the fact. I do appreciate it. The WFL appreciates it, and we hope that you are entertained by the show, even when it has a downer like what I just had. Let us know by throwing us a like. Let us know by throwing us a subscribe. Let us know by leaving some comments. Any and all feedback, good or bad, is always appreciated, folks. Until next Monday, the corner is closed.